Hello everybody, Sean Woolley here, Managing Director of Cloud9 Spain. With me today I have...
Debbie Lush.
And...
Amy Akehurst.
Thanks ladies for coming along. We're going to be talking today about our favourite developments. You girls, you get out there far more than I do. Barely leave the house these days. Takes about 2 hours to get dressed in the mornings. No, but you're out there on the road a lot with clients, and you have access to pretty much everything that's going on out there, don't you? Wow, how exciting is your job? So, I want to know from you where the top developments are. What are they and why? Debbie.
Okay, I think one of the hottest developments at the moment has to be Salvia in San Pedro.
You like this, don't you?
I do.
Go on, tell us.
I live quite close by and I know San Pedro very well. And I walk into it some evenings and we have dinner and drinks, so it's great. And I think there's a lot of clients love to be walking distance to things because they don't want to take the car, they don't want to have the hassle of taxis. And there's no land basically in Marbella for these things. And this development is fantastic. Why is it fantastic? It's gated, it's secure, it's got great facilities. So it's got a beautiful pool, a children's pool, a co-working space and the gym.
Is there an indoor pool and spa thing as well?
Yes, there is. Yeah, indoor pool.
Okay.
And of course it's walk to all amenities, and actually facing Salvia is a nice park, which they've just redone. And there's going to be a sports centre close by. So, and that's what differentiates Salvia from other developments in the area. It's gated and you're not looking into another block. You're looking into a beautiful park. There's going to be sea views. And it's a really nice development.
And from Salvia, you're in town. You're on the Boulevard of San Pedro, aren't you? So you've got the old town that way within a minute or two. And you've also got the beach within about a 5-minute walk, I guess. So it's a good spot. And as you say, I think it's probably going to be the shining light, isn't it? It's going to be the creme de la creme of developments in San Pedro. There are other new developments there, but as you say, this one ticks a lot of boxes in terms of specification, in terms of the amenities on site, because normally to get those sorts of amenities, you have to go out of town, don't you? They normally just don't build them into projects like that. So that's your favourite. How much are we talking about? What's the entry level?
For a 2-bedroom, it starts at 540 and goes up to about 1.4 million for some of the penthouses.
Okay.
They are generous size for 3 bedrooms as well. Some of them have huge terraces, like beautiful sweeping terraces.
Because again, that's something in town centres, they all often scrimp on the terrace sizes to try and make as much of the internals as possible.
But I do have to say, they are selling very fast. I think there's 50% sold already. Yeah. For anyone that wants to do an investment, this is so hot because it's going to be ready in the second quarter of 2026. You don't need all your money. You need 30% to put down in 30 days' time. And I think just to have a brand new apartment will be fantastic, but it'll certainly increase in value.
Because that's the problem in San Pedro, isn't it? It's like a lack of new build stock, because it's part of Marbella. It's so difficult to get licenses. But this is kind of, we've always been wanting more stock in San Pedro, and this is one of the few that's come up. So, okay, so that's where you're parking your investment money. Amy, what about you? What's your favourite at the moment?
One of my favourites, if you're looking for a villa, is La Finca de Jasmine.
Okay, yes.
So the location's fantastic.
Whereabouts is it?
Up in Benahavis. So you're only about a 7-minute drive to the beach. You're very close to San Pedro and Portobello, you're only about 10 minutes away. Not only that, you're only about a 15-minute drive into Westerport as well.
Okay. And the development itself, is it gated, secure?
It is. It's
that's what a lot of people worry about, isn't it? Yeah. When they buy a villa, they sometimes think, oh, am I going to have that same level of security that I would in an apartment?
You are. So it's going to have 24-hour security. It's going to have a real lock up and leave concept because within your community fees, they're going to be covering the maintenance of your garden and your pool.
Good.
So it's great if you aren't going to be living there full time. You don't have to worry about paying additional costs for gardeners and pool maintenance as well.
And that's also good aesthetically, because sometimes with these villa developments, they don't do that. And it's left to each individual owner to do their garden and do their pool. And all it takes is one to decide not to bother, and your pool's gone green and your grass hasn't been mowed, and it just makes the whole thing look awful. So that's really good that they're doing that. And what sort of villas are they building there? How big and how many bedrooms?
They've got like 3 or 4 different styles, and depending on what you're looking for. So they're on to phase 7. So they've got 3 and 4 bedrooms starting around the 2 million mark up to about 2.8, 2.9. So they all have, some of them have basements, some of them are single levels, some of them are 2 levels. One of them's even got like a split mid-level as well. So there's lots of options dependent on the client.
Yeah.
So you haven't just got one villa type.
And it's selling well, isn't it?
It's selling so well, really fast. Another nice thing as well, they've really thought about the layout of the development. So each villa has been designed so if you're in your garden standing, you will not be looking onto another roof.
Okay.
So you'll have panoramic sea views from them all. And the roofs are going to have grass on the top. So you're not looking onto concrete. So it's all about the views at that development.
Yeah.
So if you want amazing views, it's fantastic.
Brilliant. Great recommendation there. Debbie, back to you for your second choice.
Can I go back to Chaparral?
You can, yeah.
I can, because I think those homes are really, really nice.
This is Eden.
Eden, the development in there. Just from a perspective of price point, starting at about 570, 590, it's very wide, you have beautiful terraces, you have sea views, it's close to amenities, yet it's quiet. And you've got the sports centre on site, and you've got a golf club, and it's close to the airport. That has to be a winner for me for a family home. Well, it's a family home. I think that's really good. Okay. Where else can you get a family home for about 570?
And does it feel like you're in a villa, or do you feel like you've compromised a little bit? Or, because very often when you're in a townhouse, it can be a bit like, oh my God, the neighbours are too close and blah, blah, blah. But does it feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, no, they've done nice garden areas, nice community areas. Yeah, I think it feels like that you're in your own home as opposed to a squishy townhouse, yeah.
Very good. I'm finishing off with you, Abby. What's your second choice then? What have you got up your sleeve?
The one that I've sold in recently and I've got a lot of clients interested in is Estrella del Mar in Elviria.
Ooh, okay.
As you know, there's not much land in Elviria to build
it's
on.
part of Marbella, so it's always a problem.
And there's not really anything modern getting built there at the moment. And for what you get for your money, and it also being beachside and walking distance, it's fantastic. So you've got 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses starting at 700,000. They've got a gym on site, 5 minutes from the beach. You can walk into the commercial centres on the other side of the road. And you just get a lot for your money. Again, it's fantastic for a family.
And the beaches in Elviria are some of the best on the Costa del Sol, aren't they? Which is great. So anyone who's a beach person, Elviria and that stretch is heaven, really. And think about Elviria, you've got a lot of commercial centres, you've got the beach, you've got Don Carlos hotels, there's a lot going for it. So you say about 700,000 starting price?
Yeah, starting price.
Okay, that's great. Isn't it interesting though? We've talked about 4 developments, and we've had 2 that are further down the coast, Estrella del Mar, and we've had Eden, and then we've had the villas in Benahavis, La Finca, and we've had one in San Pedro. We've had nothing the other side. What does that tell us? Not getting that, or no? There, it's interesting because there's a lot of development, obviously Estepona, but not so much Soto Grande, but certainly Estepona, and we haven't mentioned any. And I'm just wondering, is that because they're all sold? Because a lot of them are, aren't they? A lot of them are sold out. It's hard to get hold of stock. But the ones that you're drawn to are those 4.
Definitely, yeah.
Good. Well, listen, thank you so much for that. We're going to revisit this on a pretty regular basis because obviously things change, new things come up. There might be something that comes up in the next few weeks even that tickles your fancy. So we'll come back to that in maybe 2 or 3 months' time and see if those top 4 are still top 4 or whether they even get a mention anymore. Or whether we're just fickle and just move on to something new. Alfredo's giving me evil eyes, so it's time to wrap up. Until the next time, cheers for now.